funny part is pan, but it's no pan now. How how can you deal with that one?
I did not even
I feel like it's the first time anyone has said that joke. Surely. Surely. As we have a very descriptive European location here. First guess was maybe France. I don't know. Belgium. I don't know. Feels Western European to me.
I like the Belgium shout. With those fences and this dirt road going through a foresty-ish area, but it could be a couple places. France is another option. I could see this being the United Kingdom. I could see this being... Well, it looks like Western Europe.
Yeah, I don't think it's Serbia really. Like, it doesn't feel Eastern European at all to me. But I feel maybe Spaghetti banks on the fact that we don't have an antenna, at least in the image, but it could be on the other side.
Yeah, that's not really something you can use here. Unless you leave a dirt path behind. If the car is rolling, then you know you look at the back. But it is Ukraine.
Okay. We are all very wrong. Ukraine did not even cross my mind for a single second.
Give me 10 guesses and I'm not guessing Ukraine. Maybe even more than 10.
Yeah,
definitely more than 10.
Europe has a lot of countries, so you definitely need a lot of guesses here.
But yeah, Ukraine is not something I was thinking of at all. However, now I'm thinking of Eastern Europe. Could be Romania. I like that guess.
Yeah, seems like we have some sort of maybe trident pole there, which you usually get in Romania, also Hungary, but with mountains, you're definitely more likely to be in Romania. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't really make out that pole that I saw. I don't know if they could. Don't know if it was a distinct one. But good to see them making the both mistake. And we move over to this round where we see a lot of gas pipes.
A lot of gas pipes, yeah. Seems like either Russia or Ukraine. I can't really tell right now. My first guess was in Russia just because of it looks a bit barren.
Yes,
that makes sense.
In Russia as well. But again, we have a pole in the distance, which does not look Russian to me, but it's really hard to tell from this distance. The walls look really Russian, though.
Yeah, also we're near a factory, so it could just be, you know, the power supply for the factory itself, and they use their own poles.
Definitely.
Maybe not issued by the Russian government. But as for now, both in Russia, I kind of like the more Western guess, but I'm not really sure here.
I mean, Pan is making a good guess in case it is Ukraine. Okay, I am never guessing Irkutsk on that. That looked very dry.
Yeah, I can't wait for Finbar to be in the chat and be like, guys, listen, this is just northwest of downtown Irkutsk. Where are we guessing? But, you know, not for me. Not for me. That did not look like an easy round at all.
Yes, yeah, I don't know how to get that one. I mean, I had the Russia vibe, but not Irkutsk by any means. Not even that area around the Lake Baikal. Yeah. If we move over to this round, it looks like Argentina. That pole looks Argentinian. Very hard to reach against that one as well.
Yeah, guessing that far south really with the sand, like almost like red soil. Not something I associate with the southern parts of BA. Usually more like Entre Rios, Santa Fe. And yeah, so far the game has been very interesting. We had a lot of hard rounds, a lot of missed opportunities. I mean, the Ukraine round was basically impossible. As we go into this,
I
like
agree.
Japan, and it's just a middle click for Spaghetti here.
Yes, don't know how to reach against that one. It is Hyogo.
You know, sometimes
They're pretty close. They are pretty close, but I don't believe it was a region guess because that's pretty much the standard guess you do if it looks generic and it doesn't look northern.
Well, you say that, but what if they actually had an educated guess there?
Maybe.
And
I'm just
is this Acre?
assuming.
My first thought was Acre here.
It looks like it. We have those rolling landscapes with a tiny red dirt road.
This could
So
be...
Acre does make a lot of sense here.
But if it's not Acre, I feel like Pan just wins, so it's definitely very risky send. Let's see where it is. And it is Acre.
It is in
the casters are not washed. I called it, Spaghetti got it. And that's another win for Spaghetti. Definitely on a roll these days. As he takes down Pan in no Pan.
Really shows how this game was pretty much decided by one round. If Spaghetti wouldn't have gotten the northeastern round in the moving game in South Africa, he would have not made it to the NMPZ mode. So that was a very, very crucial, very important guess in this matchup.
Yeah, it definitely came down to like a single guess in both modes pretty much. The Acro guess in the NMPZ round we just saw. I feel like it was gettable. We had some very non-gettable rounds in the NMPZ game. But the moving game was pretty well played by Pan and just a very good guess by Spaghetti in the multipliers. As we see another result coming in, Sheena winning 2-0 against Swan Gambit. We were talking about Swan Gambit. What do you make of that result?
Yeah, that is unlucky. Of course, we don't see the match. So, really hard to judge this one. But of course, congrats to Sheena and Spaghetti both bringing points to Japan.
I just got information by the guy in my ears saying that it was a walkover. Swan Gambit did not show up for his game, so it is a walkover win by Sheena. So Swan Gambit did not play bad, he just didn't show up to play.
Okay. Maybe overslept.
Maybe overslept, I mean
still very early for GeoGuessr sleeping schedule standards. But yeah, we don't know. But what we do know is that was the first frame we had today. Pretty good matches so far, I want to say. The Trichter Malfunctionn game was really nice to watch. We saw another game that went to NMPZ here. So I'm happy with the game so far.
Yeah, I'm also very happy with the game so far. You said players might be tired. We see Flyme and Strefan on the screen already, but before that, we're gonna take a quick break and be back in a few seconds.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup? Denmark? Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings, world-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably, I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back from this very, very short break on the Sunday, filled with awesome matchups of GeoGuessr. We have the slot today, right now, and the slot later, so a lot of GeoGuessr action going on. You know, our next matchup, it is Flyme against Strefan. Anything you can really tell us about these players and how you feel like the matchup will end?
Yes, we have Flyme versus Strefan here. I've noticed that Flyme, I feel like he did play way better in this league than I expected. He is kind of an underdog, no one really expected that. But in the last couple games, you can see it here, the win rate is still on 25%. But he did play way better in his last 1 or 2 games. So maybe he did log in, maybe he did practice way more, maybe he did grind. I would love to see that win rate going higher, but here we have Strefan on the other side with an actual high win rate and high precision on a pretty low guess time as well. Getting these results on only 35 seconds is impressive. So if Flyme can keep that momentum, it can still be scary for Strefan.
Yeah, on paper, this looks like an easy game for Strefan, and I'm also very, positively surprised, or not maybe surprised, but Strefan has been playing very well. As you can see, he's only played 14 matches and he's doing pretty well. So I feel like if he plays out the rest of his matches like he did before, he will definitely end up in those very short to top 12, like Lenly, V89 area. That's kind of where he's heading right now. So definitely a good start for him in this league. And as we can see, Flyme pretty much at the bottom of the table, had a very, very rough start, as you said. Definitely has been better recently, but at the start of the league he had a lot of games where he just lost 0-2, and it was a bit sad to see. But let's move on into the game.
Move on indeed, and Flyme is also one of the more moving specific players, as far as I know. So maybe good for him to start off with the moving game in Japan. And again, we have a lot of information to work with, whether you want to use the poles, whether you want to use the signs.
Yeah, it seems like Flyme is locked in onto the poles right now. He's not looking at anything else in this round. He's just, okay, let me just move around and find a pole that matches what I know about Japan, which is probably like, pole plates, guy wires, and also attachments on the poles. GeoGuessr players have figured every single detail out about Japan.
Yes.
It says Totori.
I mean, Chugoku is the right region with those poles, and Totori is in Chugoku indeed. Another prefecture along the coast. And Strefan seems to be very close. He is indeed 870 meters. Got a very good usage of that sign. And that's really the difference of getting to a sign quick. While Flyme was still looking at that pole and gaining more information off that, Strefan's focus was more on getting even more information to make a good region guess. That worked out very well for him there. As we move over to this Russia round, looks very generic to me.
Even Estonia, I guess. This shouldn't be Estonia with the black car, definitely.
Yeah.
Strefan gonna be on it, and Strefan instantly knew. He just looked at the car and the antenna for a single second and knew, okay, this has to be Yaroslavl.
Yeah,
Russia just one of those countries which GeoGuessr pros have to figure out if you want to compete at a very high level. It's just, that figured out as well.
Yes, at the end of the day, the scoring is based off the distance. And if we talk about distances, big countries matter a lot. And if we talk of big countries, of course, we also think of Russia. Very, very important to learn that country, not only getting it right, but also region guessing it.
Yeah, as we're back in Japan, we did have a guy wire that is specific to Kyushu, which has like a very thin top and a very thick bottom. So that is also a very good meta to know.
Yep, we also have the plates and the pole tops. And
True.
We have Flyme in Kyushu indeed.
Yeah,
again, getting the right region. He's using the body of water to make a region guess there, or trying to find a spot where it fits with the water. Strefan is plunking it down a bit further. I think it was south of it, yes. And it was the right body of water where he was originally. Switched up, but not much happening here.
Yeah, I don't think you will get these players slipping up in something like Japan on moving. I feel like you can just move to a pole and just instantly know at least the region, maybe not the prefecture, but it's gonna be good enough. And combining that with the landscape, there's not that many areas in Kyushu that are just flat and maybe like embanked with a dike, so should be a pretty easy find, and it was. As we go into the US.
Agree. 609 area code is not one I'm familiar with.
It looks like we have a New Jersey plate there, and
Yes, it also looks very eastern with these houses.
Did we have a coast as well? I feel like I saw coast on somebody's screen for like a second. Maybe there?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, on
that's coast.
Stefan's screen it is, yes.
So,
But those white houses are very common in the east.
I don't know what Flyme is doing. He's just looking at the map and he's thinking, where is this? But I feel like he should move around and find information. It's very unlike his usual playstyle, I feel like.
Yes, he's not really moving a lot.
And he found New Jersey in the
Yes.
last second. He found a sign saying New Jersey on the truck.
And that's where you get punished if you play against the time and just take it slow. I feel like Stefan knew so much in that matter of time. He saw the coast, he was looking around, taking a good look at the buildings, looking at more signs. I feel like Flyme just played that one out way too slow.
Yeah, you know, I kind of have to be critical there of Flyme. I don't really know what he did in that round. It didn't look like he looked at anything, just looked at the map and was thinking, maybe was thinking in his head where this area code is found, but I feel like he should have just tried to find, you know, car plates. You know, the coast would have been good, and he even found the code for the country, for the state in the last second, so it definitely was possible for him to find something.
Definitely, especially if you aren't 100% confident on your area codes. It's always good to just move around and look for something else, because you can always, especially in an urban environment, find more helpful information. But we left that one in the past. We go over to the no move round here in Germany.
Yeah, looks very German to me. Greifswald, not my first guess. Interesting buildings there. Definitely felt northern, but I wasn't sure where they were in Schleswig-Holstein or Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Shout out to people who live there, to the 2 people who actually live there. But
in Greifswald, or
no, I mean in general. I mean, MacPom has like 2 people living there.
yes, I don't know anyone from MacPom.
Is that the Punjab crown there?
We
on
do
this pole?
have a window on the top, yes.
Language fits. Maybe southern Punjab because it's dryish.
Yes, it gives this Rajasthan vibe, but it should be Punjab with the poles. Therefore, I like the southern Punjab. Yes, Stefan not really committing it.
Yeah, he's not trusting it because
is Flyme,
the pole paint is found near New Delhi and also Bihar, so maybe that's why he's going very close to New Delhi. And it is the pole paint.
Indeed. The window is not 100% Punjab, and I guess if you take the landscape into consideration and the pole paint, you can maybe work it out. So shout out to both players for not committing Punjab there, because it takes skill to go against it. Because with how low the chances are to not be in Punjab. It is nice to see them disagreeing, and we move over to this round, which seems to be a Norway round. We have some rolling mountains. Not the highest mountains you would find in Norway.
Yeah, region guessing Norway. I kind of like the Trondheim region guess. Kind of feels like a place I've been to. But who really knows in Norway?
I mean, it's also a good hedge to cover a lot of the country, but it is way further south. Yeah, makes sense with less mountains, I guess, or less bigger mountains. You can definitely get them also a bit further up, so no blame on them. And we go over to this Nigeria round. It looks very green with red soil. Things you can consider here is maybe Osogbo or...
I think it's a tricky part, because there's 2 regions that really have a lot of very green coverage, especially with this follow car, which are Osogbo, but also the very far east.
Yes,
near what's the town called Uyo. So I always struggle between those 2, because they kind of look similar to me. But it could also just be something in the middle.
Very, very valid 50-50, because, yeah, I also thought of Osogbo, and if not, then it's east. And with how jungly rural it is, I guess it makes sense. Was northeast of Enugu. Very close guess there.
Yeah, Stefan pretty much controlling this game right now. The only thing that can really stop him right now, I feel like, are the multipliers, which are building up. We're already on 3x, and they will only increase from now on as we go into another Japan, and we have these attachments.
Yes, it should be Shikoku with that one.
Yeah, I think it's Shikoku or Chugoku, but I think it's Shikoku.
Yes, it should be. Fly Me knows his pose definitely, because on every 3 rounds we had in Japan, he was in the right region. And he's again, but so is Stefan. Of course, they know it is Shikoku. Region guessing Shikoku here is kind of difficult, but with mountains on both sides, I just click in the middle, honestly. That's a great guess from Fly Me getting the right prefecture, but Stefan was on the right mountain range, so on both sides, very good guesses, not much happening there, and we move over to the next round, in round 6, which is Malaysia. I've been talking about this black stick on the pole earlier today,
but
this time we should be on mainland.
As we know, with the new coverage, the black stick has expanded. It's spreading. It's spreading like a virus, and it's. But this does not look like Sarawak. So I will definitely say this is mainland, somewhere near Kuala Lumpur. Just looks like a very urban environment.
Oh, wow. Paris.
Okay, that is very fun off.
Usually a region you kind of always get the vibe to, but we were surrounded by a building, to be fair. There was not much to work with. No landscape, because Perlis has a very distinct looking landscape where you have a very flat terrain with a couple of mountains sticking out. We couldn't really see them on that location.
Yeah, and speaking of recognizable, terrain, I mean, it's just flat with these trees. You just click Tuba or Jobel, really. In Senegal, it's just definitely one of the easiest type of rounds in Senegal, where you don't really have to think a lot. You just see the trees and you instantly know. And speaking of knowable things, it's just the most famous road in all of Chile. But it's a long road.
It is. Okay. Not too long ago, I sent this road to our Discord. I don't know if you saw it. Where I said cool rocks.
Cool rocks,
because this has some cool volcanic rocks along the road.
Yeah,
but yeah, somewhere along that span makes sense.
Now it's just who knows the roads better. We do have a haze in the front.
About working out the alignment here. Use the mountain range we have here and the road alignment to scan the road and get it right, but it was all the way north on the border of the province.
And that means we only have 2 rounds to go, and that means Fly Me only has 2 rounds to go to, win this game and also win this match, because if he loses this, that's just a 2-0 clean sweep by Stefan here. As we go into another US round, it seems. And it looks like we have Southern Pines, but I don't know where to guess here.
Yes, we again have some reddish tint in the road, which you don't find too often in the south, I want to say. But the vegetation looks south. It looks almost like Alabama, where you are between... Yeah, I like the span from between Texas and Georgia is what I thought.
I think that's a pretty big span, but yeah, I think I agree.
Span.
Especially with the
3
single
states,
yellow line.
Louisiana, Alabama. And it is right between Texas and Georgia, pretty much.
And that means
but they
Fly Me dropping down. 3k points difference between these 2 players and only a single round left to go. Round 10 out of 10. We are in Indonesia, Pematang Siantar. Does anyone know that?
I do not know that one, but what I do know is that we have those roofs which you see in Sumatra a lot.
Yeah, the overhanging roof.
With the... Oh, yes, the overhang. See that a lot in Malaysia and in Sumatra.
Also, the green roof is also Sumatra meta, I think. And
wow,
he knew.
What? That is insane.
He did know. What can you really do? And that just means, a pretty clean game by Stefan, I would say.
That is an insane guess. I mean, knowing some other is one thing, but getting the right region right is great. But getting the right town right, that is really insane. So shout out to Streffer for getting that one. A really impressive guess there to end this game off.
Yeah, he did pretty much, you know, bank on the mistakes of Flyme in the moving game, but in a no-move game, I think he really just, you know, showed how good he is. Yeah, not much to do there for Flyme, really. Maybe, you know, work on his playstyle in the moving mode. Maybe that's just his plan, thinking a bit more about the clues he already found and not moving around too much, but Stefan pretty much did both, moved around and used the clue to the best degree, really.
Yeah, sometimes you look back at a game and look what you did wrong. And let's say for Flyme, maybe he looked back at a game where he was moving too fast and missed out on so much information by moving fast. So maybe he was thinking, okay, I need to change my playstyle to take it a bit slower, to really get everything I get from every panel. And it backfired. It backfired definitely in this game. So I don't know, maybe that was the case, maybe not. What I know is that we are going over to the next match, Fennep versus Trichter.
Fennep definitely had a rocket start to the league. He was first place for a few days, I think. Now definitely has dropped a bit lower. We see 40% win rate. Average guess time very long. Good precision stats. But on the other hand, we just saw Trichter play. And if Trichter plays the same way he just played, it's going to be very tough for Fennep. But I think you know and I know Fennep definitely a good moving player. So it's pretty much the same setup, really.
Yes.
Fennep needs to win a moving game, just like Malfunctionn. And if he doesn't, it's going to be very tough.
Definitely. If you look at the stats looked very similar. So you would assume, okay, they're probably the same players, same play style they have, maybe, but no, definitely not. If you tell me, yo, Fennep is playing against Trichter, I'm thinking of two very different players with very different play styles. Whereas Fennep is more of a moving player and Trichter more no move. But yeah, we start off here with Science, which you do love to see.
Come on,
Especially
Fennep.
as a moving player.
Give us the 5k.
Let's see, they are both around Girona. Now we know the town, Ziggy. Girona.
Shout out to Diono's, what's the name again? Rondo video?
Rondo, yes. Where we had it as a question. And yeah, both getting pretty close. Of course, with the Science. Not a surprise.
No surprise there. And another, you know, America's round really can't seem to leave this place today.
No, we don't. I do not complain. The Americas are pretty cool. We have...
He finds a taxi with the town name on it. I think red taxis are Veracruz. And Tuxtla... Where is that town again?
I've heard of it. I would probably also find it on a map, surely.
Is it? No. I don't know. It seems familiar, but I can't really place it down. Or maybe it doesn't mean any place name. It just means something in Mexican. I was about to say.
I mean, there's Tuxtla Gutierrez in Chiapas.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's that. We are probably butchering the pronunciation bad there.
Yeah, probably.
So,
but it also seems like Fennep has
sorry
found more
for the
information
viewers.
because he instantly zoomed into Veracruz after looking at this wall. And it seems like Trichter's very far away in Michoacan. Maybe didn't see the taxi. Or anything, really. And it's gonna be Veracruz. The red taxi does not lie, you know. Cars travel, but taxis usually stay on their perimeter as they operate.
They do.
So definitely a good thing to know in Mexico. You know, you have the pink taxi in CDMX, you have the red taxi in Veracruz, and then you have a bunch more that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, taxi matches are actually something players overlook a lot. You have that in other countries as well. Also in small countries like Jordan has different taxis for each city, but also countries like Argentina, which are pretty hard to guess on urban environments sometimes. It's also a country where you can use taxis to distinguish between cities. And we are in Sweden here, the home country of GeoGuessr.
We do have signs for both players.
Do have them. I do not know these places.
Yeah, I've never heard of Morbilonga.
They are findable, maybe not. We have a Gotland.
I think it's just
Haberfront.
checking. Oh, he found it. It's on. What's it called? I've got the town name. No, the island name. Öland. Sorry.
Oh, Irland. Okay, yeah. It was all the way south in Irland.
Cheeky 5k by Fennep there. And he is still on the flawless, taking Trichter below half health already, and we're only 3 rounds in, so our prediction has become true so far of Fennep dominating this moving game.
Yeah. On an average, against an average player, you wanna say Trichter made a great guess. They're getting Irland right, but Fennep is just on it. Wet in. And we have a very weird bollard. It's yellow instead of red. This looks like a Polish bollard.
And it is a Polish bollard, but there's a road number on it, or maybe it's a kilometer?
Yes, I think you get the road number on the beginning of a provincial road. So, yeah, it was the beginning of a road probably.
Well, we're basically in
Yeah,
Ukraine
on the
or
border.
Slovakia pretty much. We're on the tri-point there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Whenever a road starts in Poland, you have the road number written on the bollard. It's pretty good to know.
Well, I know now, and maybe the players do know now as well. As we move on to Australia, we do have sugarcane and the black car, which you usually get in very far north, Rockhampton,
Yes.
like Cairns as well.
Yes, indeed. Along the coast of Queensland in general, you see a lot of sugarcane.
And did Fennep find the small town name he just had on the sign? I don't know, but he clicked a very specific place.
I did not see the place name on his screen. I was looking over to Trichter's.
That seems like Trichter is right on it as well. And yeah, we're in Mila Mila, of course. What else?
Yeah, very impressive from both again. To get the right region down there in this amount of time.
Yeah, seems like, I don't know how Fennep found it, but Trichter found it with a better sign, I would say. He found a sign with big towns in both directions, while Fennep just had a sign saying the town name itself. But obviously he's from Australia, so, you know, he is expected to know.
Definitely, and we are in Thailand here. It looks very touristy.
Very touristy for sure.
So I would consider Phuket or... Yep, that makes sense, especially with the body of water, and could be another island maybe around that region.
Well, I know it's not Koh Samui because that has a different car. Nerd, but definitely could be anything really around Phuket, or as you said, maybe some random island. As they both move to the same sign in the same second.
Yeah, did Fennep just ignore the sign because he was looking at it for such a
I
short
know.
amount of time?
Maybe he doesn't need it. Switches to
He's
Koh
going
Samui.
actually Koh Samui.
I mean, it's not Koh Samui, but he
It's
gets
further
closer.
north along the coast of the mainland, and that's a lot of points, bringing Trichter down to only 841 health.
No, a bit unlucky for Trichter because Koh Samui is not possible with that car, but you know, Fennep, you know, just vibe guessing. These players don't know
It's
everything,
also
so
somewhat of a good hedge
yeah.
to
I mean,
cover along of the coastal side. So it's a good chance to get closer from there. And we are in India here. We have a lot of billboards and text.
a lot of sign. Urban hellhole here, really. Holy, we have
You
a
don't
lot of
even
traffic.
know what you want to look at here. So many stuff going around.
And we do have a Bihar palm, like a Bihar palm there, which you get a lot, but it actually Bihar. Let's see. It is.
It is indeed, and Fennep securing the win here on this round.
Yeah, pretty flawless game so far. I mean, the only real hiccup was the Poland round, and I think Trichter didn't really know. He just had a vibe guess, but every other round, Fennep was really in control. He either made a better guess or a similar guess to Trichter, so very deserved on his part. As we go into the second game of No Move, and now, you know, Trichter has to win both games, and Fennep can lean back and be like, okay, I won one game, and now I just need to win a second one.
Indeed, starting off in a very foresty, hilly road. That pole top looks indeed Czechian or Slovakian. Which I didn't really think of off the bat when I was looking at this round. But I would maybe trust the pole. They are both in Czechia for now.
I agree with it
Any
because
buildings? I mean, how do you distinguish between Czechia, Slovakia? It's usually just landscape and coverage clues. But in this case, it could have been either. But yeah, turned out to be Czechia. Maybe the mountains weren't big enough.
yeah, I think that's pretty much the giveaway, really. If you have big mountains, go Slovakia. If you have small mountains, go Czechia. At least that's how I do it. Or you have to copyright, which is also helpful. Slovakia only copyright 22 and onwards,